Hey folks, Ray from DCRaymaker.com here. Today I've got Garmin's newest wearable, the Garmin Chronos. Now as part of the Fenix lineup, same part of the Fenix 3 lineup that you've had in the past. In fact, it has the exact same software. The one difference is the price tag though, and that explains why I'm in this suit here. And that's because this watch, or rather this one in this box, cost a whopping $1,500. And there's three different editions here. They start at $1,500, $1,000, and $899 for those that just want to go cheap. So I'm going to kind of give you a quick walkthrough, but if you want to see what exactly is in this box, then go hit this unboxing video right there, and I walk through the entire thing from start to finish and also do some size comparisons with the existing Chronos watches. So you may be asking yourself, why do I need a $1,500 Garmin? And honestly, I don't know. But people have been buying expensive watches for years, and they make typical Garmin watches look cheap, and they even make these sort of watches from Garmin look cheap. So obviously there's a market there for the expensive watches. Whether or not you want a watch that is a Garmin watch for $1,500 is something you'll have to kind of figure out for yourself. So you may be asking yourself, what is different about these watches compared to a standard Fenix 3? And the answer is not a whole lot. So on the back here, you have this optical heart rate sensor, so you can kind of see it right there. If I undo this clasp there, then you can definitely see the green LED light in the back there. Now, one change has been between this and the Fenix 3 HR that you may have already had is that they've reduced the bump a little bit further, about half the height roughly. They've also reduced the watch height as well, so it's a little bit thinner than the Fenix 3 HR was. So those are two somewhat positive things. But once you hit this start button there, it's effectively the exact same watch. So you got the same sports that you had in the past. There's no other differences here than the hardware and the nifty screen. So those are basically it's the exact same hardware. It's still waterproof to 100 meters. It's still got the same battery life, about 13 hours of GPS on battery life. It's all the same stuff there. So as I mentioned, there's three different versions of it. So up in this box here, which is wooden by the way, we've got the most expensive version, which is the titanium edition. So the titanium edition is the one that starts at $1,500, or if you're so unfortunate as to be in Canada, it's $2,000. So sorry, exchange rate. But here is a titanium edition. Now this is unique compared to the other ones. The easiest way to tell them apart from the other ones is the band design. So in this case, titanium has got these long bands that go all the way across, versus the steel edition, which is the next cheapest one, has basically this kind of link design there that you can see that just interwoven. This is $1,000. Now all these have completely metal outside. So the bezel is, in this case, titanium, brushed titanium, the buttons as well, and also the band. In the case of the steel unit here, the band, the bezel, the case, and the buttons are also metal. I don't know if they're actually stainless steel or not, but they are certainly metal. And then if we look at the last edition, this is the steel with the leather strap. It's technically an Italian vintage leather strap, to be precise. And this has the exact same outer case as the steel edition here. The only difference now is it's $100 cheaper at $899, and it includes the leather strap as opposed to this metal. You'll notice though there are some nice touches. For example, this feels like it could be metal there, so that's a bit of a nicer touch than just kind of a plastic feel to it. And then of course you got the leather strap. Each unit seems to have slightly different watch faces. So in this case here, if you look at this, you've got the altitude displayed right there, which is a really nice little touch. Again, Connect IQ will probably replicate these watch faces right away. So you'll find someone that will create almost the exact same thing for you. But still, it's kind of cool. Also on the highest end model, if you're like far away and you can't quite tell that these are long bands, you've got the red button there as well. So that's something that also a slight difference. Now, of course, the goal of these watches is to look slanky in attire like this and not feel like you're wearing some sort of plastic sport watch. With the Chronos series, they do seem to slide under my dress shirt just fine. You can see that here where I've got it basically sit underneath the dress shirt, and then that's underneath the suit coat itself. Now, of course, if you are going to go out for a run or a bike ride, all these watches do come with this quick release kind of rubber band that allows you to put it on in place of this, and it just simply pops right off. I walked through that again in that unboxing video, so if you want to see how that actually works, you can go ahead and check out that video for the little details there. But that band is included in the box itself. So a couple quick technical notes here. First of all is the fact that the charger is slightly different than the Fenix 3 series you've seen in the past. These charging pins are slightly closer, very similar in fact to the Forerunner 230, 235, 630, 735 series with this kind of clip-on design there that simply clips on the side. It's still pretty sturdy. I mean, this isn't going to go anywhere. I hope not, because if it did, it would it'd be bad. Let's just be honest here. Speaking of which, this is sapphire glass. It's actually sapphire glass on all three watches, so it's the same as the higher-end Fenix 3 series that you've seen in the past. Now, if we look at the display, it's virtually identical to the existing Fenix 3. So you'll see that I can go ahead and pull down here for settings, get into settings and scroll through those. This happens to be in French, but it's the same there. And if I press the start button, it gets into sports. You'll see a slight difference in the styling here where they've kind of done this circular outline there. But otherwise, it's the exact same sports. The same GPS chipset, the same EXO antenna, all that's the same, except there's one or two minor differences. First, you'll notice that the watch face is slightly different. We talked about that a bit earlier, but you'll also notice here, if I just do a long hold on this, I get into the stopwatch mode, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to hit this button there, and you'll see that the stopwatch is triggered there, and it's counting down. You can see it kind of going around the outside edge. So that is a minor addition there. I'm not sure if that's worth $1,000 extra bucks, but that's something that, it makes it different, it makes it unique. And I can hit stop there. I think I can also take a lap probably if I press this. Nope, it just goes back at that point. So that's that. And if I wouldn't hold this back down again, this is still continuing on. So it's still counting on in the background there, which is great. I'm gonna go ahead and stop this. And then if I long hold it then, if I quick hold it, it'll start again. And I can go back here and do a quick press to get to the sport menu. So of course, a lot of people are going to be looking at this watch and kind of screaming and shouting that Garmin's released a $1,500 watch, and I wouldn't necessarily disagree with them. $1,500 is a lot to pay for any watch, let alone a Garmin. There are plenty of other brands out there that are higher priced than a $1,500 watch. You look at Apple with their $10,000 gold Apple Watch, and then certainly numerous other brands with non-electronic type timepieces. For me, personally, you're not going to see me buying this watch, and the reason is simple. I don't typically like to buy something like a watch or a wearable that's going to be essentially outdated in just a couple years. If you fast forward 3 or 5 years from now, Garmin will undoubtedly have stopped updating the Fenix 3 lineup of software, and at that point in time, this watch becomes just a bit outdated. And if you go forward 5 or 10 years, it's even worse. So that's a case where, for me personally, I like to buy something that is going to last forever if I'm going to buy something of that quality or that price point. So for me, this isn't really the watch, but everyone's different, and for some folks, this will be exactly what they're looking for. So with that, thanks for watching. Go ahead and hit that like button down below there, or the subscribe button. There is a ton of really cool sports technology coming out over the next few weeks, and of course all the time on the blog. And as soon as embargoes lift, you will see the sports technology videos show up in your feed, so definitely hit that button so you get notified right away. Thanks for watching.